fun for 3 days.
Excellent.
3 whole days.
3 whole days of fun.
I know. It was great. Dale was in DC working.
That's right. How was DC?
Oh. Actually, no. It's not bad. It's getting to be spring, but it's a tough time to be a Democrat. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But we're gonna continue fighting the good fight.
So were you there during all the ACA hullabaloo and the House vote? You want to tell us about that? What that was like?
It was exactly as it played out on TV. I mean, it was, a lot of back and forth, and are they gonna call the vote? Because we're on the Senate side,
Right,
so
right.
we didn't see much of it in person. But it was also the week that Gorsuch nomination hearing started.
Right.
Which was interesting. I mean, there was so much interest. They held it in the Library of Congress. It was off campus.
Oh, wow.
Because there were so many people that wanted to line up for it. So yeah, very eventful week.
So can we talk about Russia? And then
Sure.
the 2 investigative committees,
Yeah.
the House and the Senate committees, and what's happening with Nunez and what I know it's on the House side, but how the senator feels about that.
S-27,
What is
create
it?
the independent commission.
Has he said anything about? He hasn't really.
No.
Yeah, he hasn't really talked very much about whether we need a special committee or if he's supporting the Senate investigation.
Can we find out?
Yeah. Yeah, we'll find out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my notes say S-27 is to create an independent commission to investigate Russian interference.
Do you know who sponsored it?
I have no idea.
I mean, I saw Mark Warner over the weekend making the rounds saying he thought that the Senate committee could be bipartisan and blah, 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 blah. And, Schiff started there too.
Yep.
And then we have, cloak and dagger meetings at the White House and then information suddenly appearing. So there's no credibility there.
Yeah, I haven't really had the opportunity to talk to
I
him
haven't talked
about
certainly
that in
concept.
particular. Yeah, I mean, we're
Different
sort
matter.
of all just watching it from our side. Like,
When's the tipping point going to happen?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. I don't know if you saw today, the president signed an executive order reversing all of Obama's
Reversing all of what?
his climate change
Right.
work. So that was obviously a big deal for the senator, and he issued a statement right after that happened. Just one more thing.
But I'm just going back to the notes the day that he was with you, when he's back in town, and I'm sure, time has passed, so different things happen, but it was fairly clear then about that all strains of effort, as far as, that's the word, the phrase he used, all strains of effort are important, including keeping the investigations nonpartisan, which, okay, so that was a month ago. On the Senate side, it still looks more nonpartisan. And
At least you have McCain.
and he also, yes, Graham.
What's his name?
Senator Graham.
Yeah, right.
And that he acknowledged the possibility of a select committee, or perhaps a 9/11 style commission. So I think he put on the table that all those things were possible in his mind, and it sort of depended on how it
Who
rolled
appoints
out.
that? If there's consensus.
There are different,
Trump can't control the appointment of that, can he?
No.
the president could,
Depends on who calls.
it depends, on who calls what. I don't know, I'm not educated enough to tell you precisely what all the options are, but Congress can call for it, and the president can call for it. The administration can call for a commission. So in Congress, if my memory serves me right, and this is like a test, but for Watergate, it was an executive commission and prosecutor, and the prosecutor, the president was Nixon then, asked the Attorney General, who was Elliot Richardson then, to fire the special prosecutor. And Elliot Richardson refused, and Elliot Richardson was fired.
Right.
So, there's lots of ways this can happen. There's more than one way it can happen.
Well, I think our message, Chuck, back to the senator would be, I remember him saying those things as well, and a month has passed, and let's put the pedal to the metal on that. I think it's time to really ratchet that up. And I agree with him, and I don't think any of us would disagree that lots of investigations are good. Let the House do its thing, let the Senate do its thing. But there needs to be a neutral eye here at some point.
Yeah.
And certainly on the House side, their credibility is diminished, if not gone. Next.
It was actually,
Yeah.
it was actually
Got
the
it.
Department of Justice that appointed the special prosecutor during Watergate.
Does the Senate have I know they've got S-27 on the special commission, but do they have, the House has a resolution asking, or something asking for his tax return, does the Senate have that?
I don't, the Intel committee is working, is
Yeah, I
doing the
don't know.
investigation.
I don't know if they have an
A
exact.
something separate.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Well, we can check on that.
And they've also not been doing their work in public.
Right.
Right.
I mean, they're working, it's just that
Right.
They don't tell us what they're doing.
Well, and to that point, there's a lot coming at all of us. You were there last week. It's a hard time to be a Democrat. But we can't lose sight of how much money is being spent out of the federal coffers to promote the Trump brands. I mean, every time he goes to Mar-a-Lago, every time he plays golf, every time he goes to the Trump Hotel, that's free advertising. And then we're putting security details in there and spending incredible amounts of money, some of which goes straight back into his pocket. And I saw the thing this morning, you guys probably saw it, the GAO has responded that they will look into it. And I wanna say, please let the senator know that we're watching that and we're horrified and we want something done. And if I were you as his staffer, I would say to me, what can your senator do about this? And I would say back, I don't know, but he's my senator. So let's find something. Because if not him and not those in legislative leadership positions, then who? We can't just all roll over and say, well, it's not our purview, that's not our job. It's somebody's job.
Right,
And let's
is it
figure out who
true?
that is.
Yeah, is it true that Trump has already spent more money than Obama did on travel and on expenses in the first month of business? I've looked
Yeah,
it
I've
up
read
several
that too.
times.
Yeah, that's what's out there on the web, yeah, they're saying that.
Right,
It's
so
like
more
triple
than-
the budget of the National Endowment for the Arts, which he's gonna kill.
Right, but it's
Yeah.
also more than Obama spent for 8 years, Obama administration spent for 8 years.
I think it was
I
one
think
year.
it's year.
I think it was
One
a
month to
year.
one year. Yeah, I think it was 1 year.
It was 1 year. It wasn't the entire
I
year.
looked it up
Nonetheless.
just this morning, what?
Nonetheless, 1 year
Right.
versus
Right.
1 month.
Right.
Right, and so who looks into that, or who thinks that's a big deal? And
Who oversees these things? Like, I think I brought this up with a couple of the representatives we've spoken with. Like, we are just regular people. This is not our job. This is his job. This is your job. This is the government's job. We need some guidance on this. We need to be told what we should be doing, and we also need to know what can be done.
I'm
We're
not
doing a
really
lot of
sure
research,
on the
but
Secret Service issue, because that is its own sort of separate issue, right, where their sole job is to protect the president, and so wherever he goes, it is what it is, and so in terms of who oversees that, I don't have an answer for you.
I don't need it today. These are the things that we're getting very,
It'd be
very
nice to
angry
dig
and frustrated
deep and
about.
figure that out. And,
Yeah.
what are the strings that we can pull to, you know, Homeland Security, I think, has Secret Service budget.
Right, but Congress is funding all of this, right? So all the money for all of this is coming through Congress.
In either
We'll check.
case, I mean, it's money coming out of the Treasury to,
Right.
and I've worked with the Secret Service, I don't have any issue with that. I think the bigger concern is the constant funding going back into Trump businesses, into Mar-a-Lago, into Trump Tower, into the golf courses, that is required to protect the president. So we're literally, you know,
And it's
Where's
also
the
that
outrage?
his wife and child have chosen to live in New York City, and that his sons are taking all these trips abroad, which is, and he's not making any accommodation for the fact that he's spent 22 of his first 66 days in office going to Trump branded golf courses and hotels. I mean, it's a con.
he's marketing.
He's marketing. He
His
knows what
lease-
he's
And we're paying for it.
We're paying
And his
for it.
lease for his hotel in DC clearly prohibits.
It's a violation.
He's in violation of his lease. Who's that? Is that the general? Who's holding him to that? Close it down. Sell
Yeah.
it. Force him to do that.
Or tell us who we need to be reaching out
Exactly.
to make this happen. But we're here every week. Like, guide us, utilize us.
Also, I read that the Secret Service was asking for more money because they
Yeah.
can't
Yeah.
handle it.
They
And
were so
denied.
underfunded. I
I
mean,
think
they were
denied.
underfunded
And the
during
city of
the
New York
Obama
is
administration as
gonna-
well.
Yeah.
They get very little overtime, and they literally put themselves in front of a bullet. I have great regard for the Secret Service, great regard.
What about this new Mar-a-Lago bill to have transparency of who Trump is meeting and Mar-a-Lago estate, or where, you know, when he's on a golf course, he says he's working, but we don't know who he's actually meeting with. And how does
Nothing's
this-
documented.
I don't think you should take our silence as being, you know, not interested or not acknowledging, you know, the points that you made, because we understand. I think that you know, when the senator did talk with you, he mentioned that there's sort of multi-tracks for things.
Right.
And that some of this is light of the day, news media coverage, which I don't know that you as if you're asking about what you should do, I think that though you may not have a direct line to the news media, that much of this is stuff that or a portion of this is on a track that the news media covers, that the light of day is an important ingredient in what goes on. There is a senatorial, you know, there's a role in Congress that the senator's trying to pursue, and I'm quite sure, without knowing the details, that the Democrats as a group in the United States Senate are especially concerned about these things. But just from a process standpoint, there are different places where pressure is applied for a lot of what you're talking about in terms of who's in and out of Mar-a-Lago, for example. I think the media's on that.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing. And we just
But
have to
they- but
remember
they
there are
don't-
different
they don't
tracks
even
of
know
pressure.
who's- they don't
No,
know
but
who
they
he's
keep
meeting
they keep the pressure. They keep the pressure on. They keep the light on. So.
And Chuck, I hear you and I
Yeah.
agree with you to a point on that.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness,
It's
we have
not-
a
it's not
young
everything.
resistor.
But are there things that we can do to keep on keeping the pressure on, so that, I mean, all of these there's so many things to focus on, but some of those things don't.
No, I think what you're doing, and I think whether it's with your elected officials, or whether it's with the news media, or your interaction, you know, with your network, those are all things that are important to do. I don't think but I think if you're looking for a specific formula for how to impact all these things, it's really gonna be hard for us to give you that formula. You can be assured that where the United States Senate has a track, and where your senator has a track of influence, he tends to use it responsibly.
Well,
Well,
and I
you
would-
guys already know that.
And I would encourage you, he's gotten great on Twitter over the last couple of months. I mean, he's gotten funny, he's good on it. And he's got a voice beyond his vote on the Senate floor. So when we scream about these things, we're just a lot of voices out in Honolulu that aren't getting much traction. When he screams in
No,
a
and-
responsible way,
And you didn't
senatorial.
mention environment, but that was obviously a big issue over the last few days, and he was very,
Yeah.
clarion call on both his news releases and on Twitter.
Agreed.
And, he won't let it rest, so, again, where there's a track that he as a senator can follow, I'm sure he will do that.
And I think our message is just let's not let a lot of things rest.
Right.
And this expenditure that's just being made normal every day that passes, and we don't
It's
question it, we're
normalization.
making it normal.
That's right.
You know,
Yeah.
we're spending this kind of
We
taxpayer dollars.
understand that.
The reason I came today was because I wanted to show my support for Brian Schatz. And, cause I follow him closely, yeah, and his views on how things are align with my own, really. And I feel like he's doing so much more than a lot, of them are, in that, you know, he's up all night in the Senate protesting things, and if you could just relay that to him too, that we're not just here to bitch, we're here to, we're here to support him in what he's doing, you know?
Thank you.
Thank you.
For
Yeah.
relay that. We do, I give him a report after every Tuesday. Right? We call you our Tuesday friends. So I will relay that, thank you for sharing.
And I think it's fair to say all of us feel that way.
Yes.
You know, we're big fans.
We'll all be waving signs.
Yeah.
I'll remember that.
Please do.
Yeah. And we're a lucky state in who we've got, particularly on the Senate side, and we know that.
But
Right.
it's very frightening to think that the Department of Justice, the Office of the President, and the House of Rep, these guys are all caving. They're, where are the good guys? Some of them are coming, where are they? Adam Schiff is doing a great job.
Adam Schiff
He is
is doing
doing
a
a
great job.
great job.
Watergate made careers. you know?
Absolutely. So it's quite frightening. And what, did Putin just, you know, the wonderful guy who filmed all the president of Russia's 10 zillion houses all over, just got put into jail. So there are nasty things going on in the world. Anyway, it's like, okay, I didn't think Comey looked like a good guy, but maybe that's what we've got. I don't know.
We can't be
Scary.
here without talking about the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously, we're on the, we would love to see, you know, all the wheels stop until this administration is vetted as it should have been before he ever took office, but at a minimum, is he filibustering, is he supporting the filibuster?
He's still waiting to meet with Gorsuch. We've been trying to get a meeting with him for a few weeks now, but I think they were prioritizing people on the committee first. So I know Senator Hirono had an opportunity to obviously meet with him privately and also interview him during the course of the hearings. But Senator Schatz has not. So he's still wanting to do that and waiting to do that. And
Well, tell him his Tuesday friends. Understand his reservations until he meets with them, but we sure hope he comes out on the right side on this one,
okay,
and that's a filibuster.
got it.
Do you wanna?
Yeah, Dale wanted to.
Last week, somebody asked about the budget process. Can't remember who it was. And, so I found this pictograph that shows what the process is. It just shows kind of generally how the budgeting process goes.
I like the picture of that president so much more.
And there's, if you go to nationalpriorities.org, the website that I got this thing from, there's more information
Oh, that's a good idea.
and narrative
Take a
about,
picture.
That's cool.
Think of that.
Thank you, Dan.
thank you.
I thought she made it herself.
Yeah. You can stay up all night, do that picture.
Well, does everybody have it? I'd rather have it in my phone.
It's somewhat
than write it
helpful.
on.
It's
Yeah,
on, it's
yeah.
online,
Oh,
I
no,
mean,
it
you can
is.
just go
Is
online.
it online?
Yeah,
Yeah.
nationalpriorities.org.
And there's more
I'll never
explanation.
find
And
it.
there's much more information.
The picture's easier.
I know it's too early to know this definitively, and we'll ask, and Alan's probably going to be privy to more info than you guys may be, but has the senator expressed any thoughts that this Gorsuch thing may run into the April recess? Have you heard that?
Yeah, we don't know, we've heard rumors, it may, it may not, so, you know, it has affected my scheduling, that's why I did 2 town halls for the second week of the recess and none in the first, so that I don't have to cancel a town hall.
Got it.
But we don't know.
Okay. We appreciate you.
This was awesome, thank you.
We appreciate you, scheduling the town hall so early and
Yes.
being really on top of that.
Sure. We started outreach, so the word is spreading out there for both of them. And then we'll start scheduling the next one after we get through these 2.
It never stops.
Yeah.
Anything else? We've got several new faces today, so that's nice. Anything you guys wanna ask about? Covered it?
I like the red, white, and blue earphones though.
You do.
Still try to keep her patriotic. Tough.
Alright, okay, well, Malia, Chuck, Dale, thank you, as always.
All right.
Yeah. Keep the faith.
Next week.
Okay. Thank you.
And please know that when you shoot me releases, they go up on the website and get shared with
Okay.
everybody, so please keep that coming.
This is today's. Oh, let's have it. This was in,